Everybody, thanks for watching. So real quick, Merkabah Scholar Society members, make sure you guys check the app for the new video. There's a link in the app, so make sure you guys check the app. So let's get right into this video. So now, I put out a lot of videos over the years on, hip hop, everything that really pertains to the Black community and Black history, from Egypt all the way to, China, Cambodia, what have you. I've covered everything from A to Z. So one of the biggest questions that I get as far as the situation that Black people are still in is, why are we still in this situation? So one of the things I want people to understand, and I covered this topic, but not this much in depth, right? So you guys got to understand. Now, I'm pretty sure most people will agree, to grow anything, any group of people that's trying to grow or be successful in anything, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what society you live in, it begins with the family. Plain and simple. Family is going to determine whether or not your generations grow and how successful your generations is going to be, how successful your bloodline is going to be, right? Begins with the family. So if you're in a prominent family, a family that has status, 9 times out of 10, your offspring or people that's in your bloodline are going to do well because they have that family name, which means something to the world of business, to the world of whatever, right? So we see in business today, even Kraft Foods, and you have Purdue Chicken even. So many of these major corporations, Fortune 500 companies that we see, began with families that still own the corporations, right? Passed down through generations after generation, right? It's what we call generational wealth. You do something as a family and you pass it down. You create enough wealth to pull all your family members into the business, and you branch off from that to create other things, right? So we look at all the major families throughout the world, the Rockefellers, right? The Schiffs, the Rothschilds, and everybody who we talk about. These families have done things in business and throughout the world to maintain their status and power that they have today, right? So family is everything, right? Family is going to be the foundation for you being something in the future, right? So if you want to corrupt and destroy a people, you have to begin with the family. You have to attack the family. Now, we seen growing up how successful white families are. We seen family values that they have. It's not just about coming from a prominent family. It's about the values that's instilled within that family. We see with the mob, you had mob families, right? And the mob eventually, became legit, but it wasn't so much, like that with the mob. We all know, the history, and they was out killing and doing all kinds of crime and everything that we seen the mob do. But everything was about business. They stood on business. Business was attached to family, and business was ahead of family. But family was a close second, right? But business was everything. If you was in a family and you was doing well with business, it wasn't a problem. But if you messed up on business, there was an issue, right? So we understand that. Business is important, just as important as the family, because that's how much they knew how serious business would be. Because if you have a family member that threatens the success of the family, you got to get rid of that family member, unfortunately. So the mob understood this. They understood how important business was. They understood how important family was. And they kept those things tight, right? So we got to understand, as I said, to corrupt any people, you got to begin with the family. And this is what happened to Black people. We had to realize that we didn't have any leeway in becoming successful after slavery, yet we still did so. We still seen shortly after slavery, Black people already in our own right figure out a route to success, right? We know Black Wall Street, we know other prominent rich Black folks figure out a way to become successful right out of slavery, to grow generational wealth, because they understood how far back we were after slavery, and that the only way for our generations to grow is for them to begin to establish wealth, success. And this is what we set out to do, and this is what we did. One, we had a lot of practice in doing it because we seen how it should be done during slavery. We seen the amount of wealth one family could amass, and we understood how important it was for families to stick together and to grow successfully, right? So we began doing this. And there were a lot of prominent Black families in Black Wall Street and Tulsa, and just throughout America. And our business dealings back then had to do with each other. We patronized each other. We looked out for each other. As we all know, Black people helped fund Dr. King. They helped fund Malcolm X. They helped fund Medgar Evers. They helped fund so many different endeavors that was vital to the growth of the Black community, right? So it took us coming together economically for us to gain inches, the little bit of inches that we gained back then to become successful, right? Enter, of course, the white power structure to come in and corrupt that and change that. And to put us so far in poverty that Black people wouldn't care who they had to step on, even if it was their own family, to get ahead, right? So again, they made it so tight. Whereas before, you go to high school, you learn the trade, you learn how to be an electrician, a plumber, construction, whatever, in high school. You got to high school, you work at a factory, you get a job or what have you. That's enough for you to support your family. Talked about this before. And they changed that and made it so that these skills require you to pay for, require you to go to college or a trade school or what have you, in order for you to get these skills, because we were getting these skills and we were excelling. We were so united as a people back then that we was taking these skills and we was growing economically, and they couldn't have that. We were showing that, one, if you paid attention and you looked at it, it was showing that the Black family could be just as equal or even surpass the white family as long as we was given a chance, right? They had to stop that. So we fast forward, stuff I talked about before. We understand how we was closing a wealth gap in the 1980s. We understand the unity that took place in the 70s, with the whole Vietnam War. Black and white people were coming together, united in that common goal to basically show the corruption of the government, sending young boys over to a foreign country to die for corporations, basically, right? So, again, to destroy your people, first one, you got to destroy the image. And that was the biggest thing that they did for us, because as long as you have your image, right, you're going to be fine, right? If you're a celebrity, you're making so much money just off image alone. Doesn't matter how far ago or how long ago your movie came out or your song was out. It's people that's basically what we call one-hit wonders or washed up in America that's going to other countries, like going to Africa, right? Going to countries in Africa and doing tours and selling out shows, what have you, and making crazy money because their image was already solidified and their uprising, right? So you destroy image, you basically destroy people. So I want you to go back, man. Just go back to the 50s and 60s and look at how Black people was dressing, how we started to dress like white people, get perms and slick our head back, right? We wanted to fit in and look the image that white people looked, because we thought that image meant success. We thought that image meant safety, that we were intelligent. That image meant something to us, to look like them, because they patronized each other. They talked to each other with respect. We felt like having a suit on and looking like them and talking like them meant that you would get respect in their society, right? This is what we thought. This is why we did certain things to fit in with these people. And we laugh at it today and we call each other coons or what have you, but there was no other system. We didn't have nothing else. We didn't have nobody to look to for an image of success but them. Plain and simple. So when people say, oh, we were selling out or we was trying to fit in, there was nothing else for us to look to satisfy that identity, right? So, of course, when we had Black people coming up, you go and look at those pictures, even in Black Wall Street, they was dressed like the white folks. They had the cars like the white folks. They was doing business like the white folks. Plain and simple. This is what we had to go off. The problem is this: we was doing way too good at it. We was doing way better than them at it in certain aspects. And they took all that away. So again, what I want to say to Black people, a lot of people ask these questions, is why is it that we were so willing to accept their system when we understand that everything that they've given us has been corrupted, and every time that we gain a foot, an inch, a centimeter, they corrupt it, they destroy it, they take it away. So why are we so quick to accept anything that comes from them? Why couldn't we understand and use the examples of Black Wall Street and everything else to understand that we needed to create our own structure and grow economically in our own right, just like our ancestors did, just like they did back in the 20s. So by us being so deep in poverty and Black people wanting so much to come out of that, they allow certain Black people in. right? And those black people would become successful, and they would bring in other black people, and they would become successful. And then there became this group. There's basically this in crowd, the token black guy who got in, who got successful because of the white man. And they gatekeeped because, one, you just couldn't bring in anybody. And two, they didn't want this thing to spread. So that was how things was done. You bring in certain black people with the understanding that this was uniquely for you, and that this is not, what all black people can do. But that comes with corruption, because you can't just say that to a black person because they're going to look at it and say, why? But that comes with you saying to them, no, they're going to hate on you. Oh, well, if I bring you in, if I bring him in, I can't pay you as much, right? That came with corruption. So destroying the image is what they did. So since the unity had already began in the 70s, black people that marched peacefully, been beat up, been spat on, dogs bit us, everything that we seen during the civil rights movement that white people observed, and they said there's nothing wrong with these people, there's something wrong with us. There's something wrong with us. Like, why are we doing this to these people? These people are peaceful. And then the unity began to happen, and they could not allow that, plain and simple. So enter in, of course, crack cocaine, hip hop music, gangster rap, whatever you want to call it, drill, whatever you want to call it. It's the same message, plain and simple. Everybody want to talk about, oh, that's not rap, that's hip hop, that's not hip hop, that's drill. It's the same message, the same shit. Any type of black music that's talking about the destruction of the black community and destroying black people is what they want. They don't give a damn who's singing it, who rapping it, or what have you, as long as that's the message, that's the only message they're going to put out. Now, again, when people are in such a state of poverty, they don't care what they got to do to crawl out of it. And this is what was used as a weapon against us and the destruction of the black family, beginning again with the black man, with the father, the head of the household, the man that has to go out there and work. Because if you go back, what was happening back then? The black man was going to work. He was bringing home his paycheck. Wife was raising the kids. She was paying the bills. She was taking care of the household. He had to go out there and work his ass off to make sure that he can create generational wealth for his family, send his kid to college or what have you, right? This is what was going on. Now, understand, when they do something to us, they have to show it equal to the white community. But the thing is this, in the white community, they can have all that. It's not going to destroy them as a whole. It's not going to really hurt the white community as a whole. You're going to have some white people that's going to be looking the same as black people as far as being in poverty, as far as having a family member on drugs, as far as having a family member that's prostituting, what have you. We're going to see the same type of corruption. The difference is that will not affect the white family as a whole, but it will affect the black family, since we haven't even gotten to the level of success that they are in. Plain and simple. Because they can't have it to where you look into every white household and everybody's rich, everybody's living good. And then you go in the black community, and then black people living in poverty, right? It has to be something that they can say, they can look to and say, well, see, these white people ain't got money like we do, or these white people are poor, or these white people living in poverty, to hide the racism and hide the oppression that exists within the system, right? So now racism has become covert, as we know. We know racism is hidden. It's not, whites only like before. It shows up on applications. It shows up in exam questions, college entry forms or what have you. Are you black, white, what race or what have you? We see how racism exists, redlining and everything that took place, back in the 60s, 70s or what have you, right? So we understand that. We understand everything that's in the way. So understand where I'm going here, right? So image is important. Image is everything. Controlling the image of a people is how you control a people and how they're viewed to the rest of the world, right? So, again, us accepting their system, accepting their corruption. Go back to those black people who understood that if I look like this white man, I might get a little bit more leeway. I might get a little bit more respect if I at least look like them. That they can look at me and kind of sort of see me as being intelligent or see themselves in me. We understood and we fought hard for that image, right? Only to allow them to corrupt it with hip hop. How do you corrupt the people? How do you destroy their image? How do you destroy the black family, right? It's understanding, one, man, if you're trying to get a job, right? If you're trying to gain favor from a person in any perspective, in any capacity, right? You're not going to walk in there and bullshit. You're not going to walk in a job that's at a fucking Fortune 500 company dressed as a fucking clown. You're not going to walk into a job that pays six figures, that require you to sound and look a certain way. You're not going to walk in there dressed like a fucking clown, right? Making all kinds of noise, being obscene, being disrespectful, disrespecting the people that's there, disrespecting yourselves. That will be stupid. How is that going to help you if everything, your rent, your food, everything is on the line? Everything depends on you getting this job. You're not going to walk into that job interview just like a fucking clown, bullshitting around, playing games and being disrespectful, right? So if you look at our situation where everything depends on our success, the future of our people depends on our economic success. Why are we walking into the fucking interview? Why are we walking into the building dressed like fucking clowns, disrespecting each other? This is the same scenario with hip hop, to where they took everything that would destroy a person's image, everything that would destroy credibility. They corrupted all of it. Understand first, us getting through slavery, us getting through Jim Crow and everything, us getting through all of the propaganda videos of, don't trust black people because they're going to act nice, but they're really trying to fucking rape your wife. They're really trying to rape your kids. Getting through fucking integration into these schools, getting through all of that, getting through all the racism, redlining, all the shit we got through. We get through all that shit. We make it to the fucking 70s and 80s to close the gap a little bit, close the wealth gap between us and white America. We get this far only to throw it all away over some stupid bullshit called hip hop, called rap, right? So now here we are. We standing in this situation and we keep excelling. We keep surpassing them. We keep surpassing every fucking thing that they put in our way. We beat it. We adapt to it. We beat it. We overcome it. We move forward. And they finally found something that would keep us exactly where they want us to be. And that was hip hop. And I don't understand. I mean, black people who trying to be rappers and black people who got 16s, who want to be famous or what have you, who want to add to the problem, they're not going to like what I'm saying. They're not going to like this video, right? But we threw it all away. We've been tricked. Plain and simple. They tricked us. We've been conned. And a con is elaborate. A con involves a lot of steps, right? So you've seen some elaborate cons. You guys seen Ocean's 11. They had to build a whole vault facade and spend millions just to complete this heist, to complete the con. These dudes had to be an actor. They had to do so many different things to complete the mission, right? So yeah, hip hop has award ceremonies, right? Hip hop has movies. Hip hop has so much surrounding it to make it look prominent, to make it look respectable. It's the same thing with religion. Religion is surrounded by churches and buildings, cathedrals, a pope, Vatican City, movies, so much, but it's bullshit. It's there to corrupt you. Hip hop is no fucking different. Plain and simple. It's no different. And we threw away everything that we worked hard for to accept a culture that's not even ours, that's there to destroy us. Hip hop is the biggest Trojan horse ever in the history of the world. So I'm gonna tell you this. The thing is, when you go into those job interviews, the person who's interviewing you, they're in on the scam. Because if I'm trying to hire somebody for a Fortune 500 company and they walk in just as a fucking clown, I'm gonna bust out laughing. But they know they got to keep on a straight face, right? They got to keep a straight face on because this is a part of the plan. This is a part of the con, and I'm in on it. So I can't start laughing because this person gonna wonder why I'm laughing. And now we're to the point where a motherfucker don't even care if you laugh as long as the check is right. But this has been the con. So now hip hop comes along. They stop allowing it to be exactly what it was. And of course, I said this many times, I still believe that hip hop can save the black community. It just has to be done the way it was originally intended to be, right? Which was our message of unity, our message of our voice being heard, our message about who we are. And then now they corrupted that, and who we are gangsters. We thugs, right? Our culture Our culture is gang banging, bitches twerking, shooting niggas in the head, selling drugs to each other, disrespecting ourselves, disrespecting our families. That's our fucking culture. And we can't see that a Sexy Red, a Cardi B, a Nicki Minaj, and all these people that's been put out here has been put in the music industry to destroy us even further. So we look at these award ceremonies, these hip hop music awards or what have you, everybody's laughing at us and we don't even see it. It's them allowing the clown into the Fortune 500 company and he's walking around, he's serious. He's doing his job. He is at work on time. He's doing everything he's supposed to do, but everybody in the building is laughing at him behind his back, right? He comes into work, he gets employee of the week, employee of the month, but meanwhile, everybody's laughing at him. He's a joke, and he don't even realize that he's there for entertainment purposes. That the job that they're getting him to do is to destroy himself and his family. And he don't realize what he's doing is destroying all the other people that he thinks he's helping, that he thinks he's there for, right? So this is what's happening with hip hop, because I look at these award shows and I look at, you know, the white people that's there and they got to be scratching their fucking heads. And it's like, this dude is about to get an award for talking about bitches and hoes. He's about to get an award, right, for talking about killing black people. And there's a white power structure that is praising the whole ceremony, the whole situation. There is a white supremacy group that is praising the whole situation. There's racist white people who's praising the whole situation because they understand that this image of black people getting these awards, saying to other black people that this is the way for you to make it in our society, that you can talk about killing yourself, destroying your people, corrupting your people, and we will reward you. So, of course, black people are going to say, well, I don't give a fuck. I'm just getting to the bag. Or they can laugh at me all they want. I'm counting that money. Ha, 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 ha. And this is why we are where we are. Because those black people don't care how many black people that die or are killed, even their own family. They don't care as long as they got the bag. And guess what? The white man don't care because he makes the money. He prints the money. So they don't care how much money they give us to keep us where we are. And this is where the people are delusional at, because they looking at the system and they're saying, well, they can't hate us that much. They made this black man a billionaire. They made this black man a multimillionaire. Or well, they took care of this black person. Oh, well, look at how this black person has a celebrity status, right? You're a black rapper and you VIP. People coming and paying money, hundreds, thousands of dollars to see you perform. You're famous, because fame to black people is just a nudge above white folks to them, right? That's how a lot of black people look at it. That in order for me to be equal to these white folks or be above them, I got to be famous. If I'm famous, then I'm above these white folks, or I'm on par with these white folks, right? Forget about who's destroying. Forget about the black community. Forget about everything, right? Destroy the black family. Corruption, right? Starting with the black men. So now, we already know what happened. As I said before, crack cocaine, gangster rap, hip hop music, or what have you, it comes along. It is making an impression on young black men because these young black men don't come from a family that has generational wealth. They don't see a father figure that can show them how to be successful and how to become a real man, how to be successful being themselves or learning a skill, learning a trade, doing exactly what white people are doing, right? They don't see that because the black men have been corrupted and they're in prison. Now enter that Trojan horse that is hip hop to show young black men how to be men. So now these young black men without a father figure, without a male in the house, right? They don't know who to look to be successful. So they look to TV. They look to the black rapper who's showing them crime, showing them to get money. Either you're going to be a drug dealer or you're going to be a musician. You're going to be a rapper. You're going to be an athlete. This is how you get to the bag. And this is what we follow. There's no way that we can all sit here and agree that the message that's attached to hip hop is good for black people. When we look at everything that they've taken away from us and we look at hip hop and say, oh, this must be good because it has an award show or award ceremonies. Everything, all of the assassinations, everything that they took from us, Black Wall Street, right? Every movement that we had to grow as a people, economically in any capacity, they control or they take away, but they let us keep hip hop because hip hop is just that damn good for us, right? So if it's about, hey, keeping Black people in poverty and, this whole structure of white supremacy, and we look at hip hop and we look at the entertainment community that they own, they control, and they giving us that. What does that tell you? That in order for you to have success in this system, in their system, you have to be under their control. This is a very, very, very elaborate deep system that we have been bamboozled into, that we basically fall victim to. And at this point now, with all the information that's out there, we only have ourselves to blame for it. I'm not trying to hear the white man in 2025. I'm not trying to hear that shit no more because we have YouTube. We have enough information out there for people to understand what's going on. We know right and wrong. How can you look at hip hop music? How can you look at everything that we're seeing with all these rappers and everything they're talking about and say this is Black culture? This is what we stand for. And Black people are proud of this shit. And I scratch my head every time I see it. I just don't understand it. Why are y'all so proud of this corruption? How are you proud of hip hop culture and them saying that your culture is about selling drugs and killing each other? Black women twerking and doing everything for money and side niggas and side bitches and everything that surrounds hip hop culture. How can you agree that this is our culture, then get mad when a Black person is killed by a white person and say Black Lives Matter? But when a Black person kills a Black person or when a Black person raps about killing a Black person, nobody says shit. I guarantee you, if a white rapper came out and his lyrics were predominantly about killing niggas, y'all will be on his ass. So what's the difference? What's the difference, right? So understand, this is so psychological. It's so much of a con. It's so big, it's so elaborate. And it takes a conscious person to look at it and understand it. But you have so many people who don't care no more, who just about the bag. We go back to the same economic situation that they was in back when hip hop started and say, you know what? I don't care. I'm willing to destroy my people and destroy our image for that bag. I'm willing to destroy my image and destroy myself for that bag. I don't care how much surgery you want me to get. I don't care how much Botox you want me to get. I don't care how many niggas you want me to kill or talk about killing, whatever it is. And this is what's happening to us. So again, people ask me this question about Black unity and will we ever have it? I always tell them no, because we don't understand what the problem is. There is no fucking way today in 2025 we should be fucking promoting hip hop the way it is now. We should be marching, which we never have done. We should be marching against hip hop. You want to spark a revolution? You want to spark economic change? You got to get rid of hip hop. And this is what Black people are not willing to do because they believe it's our culture, it's our voice. They see how white people react to it. They see how white people love it, right? So now you want to dress like a rapper and dress like a thug, a gangster, what have you, because you like that fear or the image and how you have a positive reaction to it or even a negative reaction to it. Again, it's the image. It's the image, and the image is everything. So now this image that we have adopted and we have accepted, that they have shown to white America is a problem for America. That this image promotes destruction, death, violence, or what have you. And we choose this image. And then we wonder why we get racially profiled. We wonder why a white woman clutches her bag in an elevator or across the street when they see a Black person, and we scream racism. Right? What the fuck do y'all expect? When we proudly and boldly blasting hip hop music driving down the street, not realizing that this shit is all a part of the plan. And yeah, you should be able to play whatever you want. You should be able to look any way you want to. But again, man, stop playing. Because I hate when people play semantics and play stupid, right? If I put on a fucking ski mask and I'm walking towards you with a gun in my hand, what do you think is about to happen? You about to ride me. I'm crossing the street, right? So I don't care what you look like. That's that image, that stigma is pinned to your look, your image. What y'all don't understand, that stigma is pinned to your look, your image, your fucking skin complexion. We let them do this to us. So it doesn't matter what you think. You walking into that interview, no matter what kind of suit you got on, you black, you a nigga. It don't matter what kind of car you driving, you black. We allowed this to happen to where after all the shit we've been through and we fought for, and we got to a point to where we were ready, we were poised, man. We were poised to pass they fucking ass. And they knew it. And they rode out that Trojan horse that is hip hop. And we still in this fucking situation to this day. And I keep seeing video after video of black on black crime. Niggas killing each other over stupid shit. You have a fucking black rapper in Philadelphia rapping about positivity and they kill this nigga. They kill him. You know, I see so much crime and so much black violence and black people being killed. And we still go out here and praise these rappers that's rapping about that shit. How can your son or your family member get shot and killed in the street on some street shit, and then you go and blast your music that's promoting that same shit? What's wrong with y'all? It's the brainwashing. It's the Trojan horse. It's the destruction of the black family that's been keeping them in power for all this time. Now, I know there's going to be people that's going to say, well, I listen to hip hop music all the time. I don't want to go sell drugs or kill black people. I went to college. I have a good job. But I can eat peanut butter, right? I can eat shellfish. Some people can't. Some things affect people differently than others. Plain and simple. You're just not wired that way. Maybe you have good morals. You come from a good background. You have a sound mind for whatever reason. You're not affected. Good for you. But there are people who are. Just like you have a job, there's people that's living on the fucking street that's homeless, right? Their situation is different from yours for whatever reason, right? So, clear as day, there's data. There's information out there. Even on fucking Google. Google will tell you the power of music. So even on Google, it says here, yes, music can be used to induce a trance-like state that some people describe as similar to hypnosis. However, it is important to note that music-induced states are more accurately described as a voluntary, self-controlled change of consciousness rather than a true hypnotic state. While music can be a powerful tool for relaxation and altered states of consciousness, it doesn't inherently hypnotize the mind in the same way that a hypnotherapist might use verbal suggestion. Music can induce a trance-like state by influencing thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. This can be achieved through various musical elements like repetition, steady beats, and calming melodies, right? So it says here, music can hypnotize you. Yes, you heard it right. The basic feature of hypnosis is repetition, just as the main ingredient of any music is repetition. A repetitive beat, ideally in the range of 72 beats per minute, close to the beat of the human heart, is very hypnotic. The repetitive drum beat can generate an altered state of consciousness, and it can place the listener's mind into a dangerous state of suggestive hypnosis. In such hypnotic state, the messages of the songs become imprinted on the minds of their listeners without any critical analysis. Their minds passively absorb what the song tells them. Deep within the forebrain is the region comprising limbic system. Emotions and feelings like aggression, fright, passion, love, hate, joy, and sadness all originate in the limbic system. Research shows that sex, drugs, and rock and roll are so strongly connected that they stimulate the same region in the brain that is the limbic system. When music is played, it acts much like an intoxicant in that it makes a person forget about his or her surroundings. It takes the mind into a delusional state. In the realm of the mind, there's mounting evidence that certain types of music have a negative effect on one's ability to think and learn, especially at the same time he or she is listening to the music. In addition, the hippocampus, which is part of the brain's limbic system, is involved in the formation of long-term memory that sometimes lasts forever. When people listen to music that acts on the limbic system of the brain, the sexual or aggressive messages of the songs become part of their character for the rest of their lives. Relationship of music to alcohol and drug use. Indeed, there is a profound relationship between music and drugs. Music temporarily paralyzes and hypnotizes our minds, just like narcotics such as alcohol, opium, heroin, and cocaine, as well as other addictive substances, such as tobacco. Jimi Hendrix, American guitarist, singer, and songwriter, said the following about the power of music in an interview with Life magazine published on October 3rd, 1969. I can explain everything better through music. You hypnotize people so where they go right back to their natural state, and when you get people at their weakest point, you can preach into their subconscious what you want to say. And again, this is all something that we all understand. We all understand this. And a lot of people just don't want to accept it. And that's the problem. That music has influence, and we have seen it throughout, since the beginning of hip hop. We've seen how music can influence the way we dress. We've seen how hip hop music influenced the things that we buy. Gucci, Prada, Louis, all that stuff we buy because of the influence of hip hop culture. The slang, the way we talk, everything. The influence of hip hop culture is global. We see how the white community respond to it. We see how Asians respond to it. We see the global impact that is hip hop music, right? And everybody, every single culture on the planet, every race of people on the planet has benefited from hip hop except for black people. You have the small few that are the artists, the producers, the writers, or what have you, that benefit from it. That is all. It is the equivalent of the 1% of rich people that is running the world, equivalent to the 1% of black people that's basically benefiting from hip hop. Plain and simple. So it's what we know to be true. It's what we don't want to accept. That's the issue, because of the way certain songs make us feel, the way we relate to certain artists, not understanding the ramifications of their music and how it has been sent to destroy us and to destroy the black family. So image is everything, as I said, even with movies like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, all those movies. So now today we have the shirts. The shirts are out. I have this shirt on for this particular reason, to show you guys the image that they want us to portray, what they want us to glorify, and what they want us to look to as being our culture. So I would never normally wear this shirt out, but I'm wearing it out for the purpose of this video. But understand, one, even in the movie Boys in the Hood, this message is trying to tell us exactly what's going on. Just like, Doughboy said in the movie, either they don't know or they don't show, or they don't care about what's going on in the hood, right? So what's going on in the hood? The killing, the level of deception, the type of schemes, the drugs, the self-destruction that's happening in the black community. You would think somebody would be looking at all that, all the bodies, all the kids being killed, the addiction, everything that's coming out of there. You would think there would be somebody in some type of position of power that will look at all that and say, this isn't right. Something has to change. But it never happened. I talked about this before, and even in my book, I was saying, I always used to think that at some point, SWAT team or, the president, somebody is going to come to my neighborhood and see all the fucking crime and everything that's going on and do something about it because it's wrong. It's like, how is this being allowed? Yet it's allowed. And it's what's been going on in the black community. And then it's glorified through music. It's glorified through movies. And then a lot of people who look at movies like Boys in the Hood and didn't even get the message. And it's like people looked up to Ice Cube character. They didn't look up to Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character. He was a pussy. He got out the car. He was a punk. Right? We even look at the tragedy of what happened to Ricky, and people didn't learn from that. That movie was supposed to hit hard and get black people to say, well, damn, this is not the way to go. But it didn't help. We didn't learn from it. It's more glorified for its violence than for the message. Same thing with, Menace to Society. Old Dog was the man. I want to go out like Old Dog, or Old Dog was the man. Nobody didn't harp on the message of the movie and really get it. South Central, all those movies that we grew up watching, people didn't take heed to the message in the movie. They took heed in the characters. It's the same thing that's happening with hip hop music. It's people taking heed in the people that's rapping and not the message, right? And the message is a message of destruction, and it's destroying our people. And that's what people are, promoting, not promoting what shouldn't be done. Again, I tell you guys, the corruption of the black family is pivotal to their success. And they have succeeded. They've beaten us in that aspect. and we have helped them do it. Y'all gotta understand, man, reality is relative to your experience, right? You can grow up in the same house as a person, your brother, sister, what have you, and y'all go out into the world and y'all have different experiences that shape y'all course of life, right? You go and be a successful entrepreneur, she goes to prison. You go be an athlete, he goes to work at a grocery store, right? Same household, same parents, just different choices, right? And that's what it's about, those choices. And we can look at the whole culture of hip hop. We can look at everything I talked about with rap or what have you. You have to choose to be influenced by it, right? Now, some people are going to be influenced by it, and there's so many other things that play a role into them being completely immersed into hip hop as far as them, not benefiting from it. You're going to have others that's going to be inspired by the music and choose to write their own music. You're going to have others that's going to fall victim to exactly what I was just talking about, what I just read to you guys, as far as the hypnotic messages, the messages attached to the music that's going to cause them and go out and do the opposite. But that is also influenced by the trap of poverty that's been put out there, but them not having a father figure, with their mother not really being there for them the way they need them to be because they're a man, they need a man to raise them, whatever the situation may be. Now, you have some strong black women out there that can raise the black man. They have done so, but it's not the case for everybody. So again, we got to stop looking at the very few successful instances that we have or examples that we have and say that pertains to all of black people, because if it did, we wouldn't be in this situation. It does not. There's going to be some successful black people, just like there's some non-successful white people. Just like there's some poor white people, right? The point of all this is for you to understand why we are still today in this situation. Because black people have not figured out that hip hop was a Trojan horse, that it's here to destroy us, that it has been the driving force in our destruction as a people. And until we realize that, we're not ever going to have any success. So I gave you guys plenty of examples in this video. I talked about so much, and I have a whole bunch of videos I put out prior to this to get you guys into that correct understanding. Yeah, so hopefully you guys understand the message, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch and listen to what have you. I talk about this stuff a lot, so hopefully you guys get the message to understand how this affects us as a people and understand what hip hop actually is and how it has been a Trojan horse and has been successful against us for years. So yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to watch. And Scholar Society members, make sure you guys check your emails or check the app for the new video. But yeah, thanks for taking the time to watch. See you guys next video. Peace.